Hey guys, very quickly before this video starts, this week on my stream I'm drawing everything my followers tell me to draw on one big picture, and it will be a big mess, but I want to see what comes out of it. So if you want to see that, or if you want to suggest stuff yourself, check out my Twitch below. And now enjoy my opinion on the new Poppy album. Welcome to the YouTube, folks. We will be talking about the new Poppy album today. This is the first time I've ever talked about any album, really, on the stream. But I think I want to do this like a weekly thing. Every Sunday, I thought, would be a great time to talk about an album. It doesn't have to be an album from that week or a new album in general. It could be just something that I recently rediscovered. Today, we'll be talking about the new Poppy album, I Disagree. She came out last year with an EP that had some of the songs in it. It had Fill the Crown, Blood Money, I Disagree, and Concrete. So, Concrete, I Disagree, Blood Money, and Fill the Crown. So, not anything like me, but other than that, like the first 5 tracks except one, essentially. Yeah, this album is incredibly good. Like, I don't feel comfortable giving it a 10 yet. If I'm going up or down, I will say that during the stream. The thing is, I don't want to give out I don't feel comfortable giving out a very high number of score directly at the beginning of the year, because it's like, it feels so dumb. It feels like when you go out of a movie at a cinema, and like you are like, this is the best movie I've ever seen, just because you are so hyped because it just came out and because it's like the first album I've listened to this year, the first new album. But man, this album, I think she really pulled off this heavier, this harder aesthetic. What I didn't expect, those reprises that we had in Don't Go Outside at the end. Somewhere here she starts singing lines from other songs, I think from Concrete, from I Disagree, and from Fill the Crown, if I'm not mistaken. When that happened, I got the chills. Like, that was a crazy good moment. I love reprises in general, if they're used with an intention, I guess. If you don't know what she's doing or what she's trying to do, even if you look into the album and into the concept of the album and into the topics that she's talking about, and still have no clue how this fits into the overall concept, maybe it's just a bit over the top. She's definitely re-singing it, singing it in a tone that fits the tone of the song at that time. So that was actually the point where I myself looked at the album and was like the last 1.5 minutes, I was like, this album I feel like is deeper than I expected and more personal than I expected. Because if you look at Poppy, especially if you have no idea about, like, I haven't listened to her older stuff a lot. I know some songs, but I don't know like the concepts of the album, if there are concepts, if they are like personal and stuff like that. And I knew that Poppy was like her art persona, so I didn't know if she would. I didn't expect her to be that personal in her music, but this is a very personal album, talking about a lot of personal issues, issues not only with herself, with the industry, with people surrounding her. I think she displays these struggles very well. I think she has a very great depiction of, I don't want to say bipolarity, because I don't know if she actually is diagnosed with bipolarity, if she had, like, if that's her diagnosis. And this basically nearly every track, except the quieter tracks, except like Nothing I Need and Sick of the Sun, we don't really have a track on here that is without any changes, like any mood changes, any beat changes. Like, it moves so fast that you nearly can't keep up. Various moments it goes into a very heavy metal direction, but Then you have these almost anime intro, like hook vocals, and it doesn't seem like it would work if you read that on paper, but it works, and I don't know why. And she made it work. Concrete was one of my favorite tracks last year, and it's incredible on here. It's incredible, and there are other incredible tracks. I think my favorite track of this album is Anything Like Me. Although I don't really have a track that I don't like. The two tracks that I'm not yet very warm with are Nothing I Need and Bite Your Teeth. I think those are the weakest for me, although they aren't really weak. Bite Your Teeth doesn't work as well for me as the other tracks, and Nothing I Need is too fixed on this one idea. Although it being the second shortest track, it feels almost like it is the longest track because nothing changes from like the style, which is odd in a way for this album because it's in the middle of the album as well. I think Sit and Stay is very great with these hectic sit, stay, lay down, sit, stay, lay down. It sounds great. Also, Sick of the Sun and Don't Go Outside work really well together because, especially at the end of the album, it's like you have all of these things like Concrete being very much about like self-harm. The thing in general about this album is Poppy is, because she's like a pop artist normally, she is so fucking good at writing catchy melodies. And that's normally a thing that I don't like about metal. Sad metal often is like just like going all in on your instruments and like going to town, which can be great and can sound great and can have good melodies in it. And that not by accident, of course. What metal often lacks for me is the sense of quietness, and because I think metal becomes so much more impactful once you have these contrasts that Poppy has on this album. What else can I say about this album that I haven't said? I will give it a listen. It is great. I think if you didn't like metal before, this might be a good start to a metal album because it really eases you in. No, that's a wrong way, but it doesn't overwhelm you in a way. And also, if you like metal, this might be the other way around, that it will ease you into pop. So this is it's definitely a great fusion record that on paper shouldn't work, but it does work very well. As I said, she's talking about like expectations that other people and she had on herself that she kind of let go, I guess. Especially on this like here on these first 6 or 7 tracks. And then Sick of the Sun and Don't Go Outside are very melancholic. Like just by the name of itself, like Sick of the Sun and Don't Go Outside, like those names really work together in a very obvious way. I mean, it's just fucking sad. like, what else can you say about that? It's like you have this very depressing album, and then it ends with, and like aggressively depressing album, like fucking Cover Me in Concrete, Burn Everything Down, stuff like that. And then it ends with, I'm just sick of it all, and I don't want to go outside, and I guess I'll just stay in. Which is like, but not a happy kind of staying in, but like it's such a sad moment. I'm gonna lurk for a bit, listen to the album. Yeah, it's definitely worth it, and it's not that long either. It's like 30 minutes or 35 minutes. No, but for real, it's great that this album isn't that long because it feels. This that's something I can talk about. This album wastes almost no time, and that is amazing. I think, for example, the last album by I know what this album is a good comparison to. This album is a good comparison to the last Bring Me the Horizon album, because this is also kind of a fusion thing. It's, although it's not really that directly a fusion thing, it's more there's different kind of stuff on here on Ammo. But this album wastes a lot of time by just repeating hooks again, and by I don't know, having a weird structure to it. Like so many songs on here I felt like were unnecessarily long. I don't know what to say. It's such a good track, but it doesn't need to be 6 minutes long. Sugar, Honey, Ice and Tea I already didn't like, and it's like 4.5 minutes long. Why You Gotta Kick Me When I'm Down? I like this track, but it doesn't need to be 4.5 minutes long. Like, it wastes time by just repeating shit. But then you go back to the Poppy album, and like, sure, there are tracks on here that are 6 minutes long, like one track. But that track actually has a reason for it being 6 minutes long, because it's the outro to the album, and it has like 1.5 minutes outro. So it's technically 4.5 minutes long. I mean, it still belongs to the song, of course. But there is a reason for this to be 6 minutes long. There's a reason for Sit Stay to be 4 minutes long. And the amount of changes in Concrete is actually insanely high for 3.5 minutes. Like, this album moves at a fucking pace. The thing is, she knows what she can do and how she can do things she hasn't done before. Because she nails the metal stuff really well, but she doesn't have a raspy voice in a way. So what she often does to sound more aggressive is like sing either like have a high backup vocal that is more a bit distorted or a bit more aggressively sung, or she has some male backup vocals or stuff like that, or she just changes in like a baby metal kind of way, like in Concrete, for example. Also, Concrete Flies By, it definitely does. But there is a part where like a xylophone plays behind. The part that destroyed that for me is that it sounds like the fucking Simpson intro. It's like, bite your own teeth, bite your own teeth. And this almost sounds like the fucking Simpsons intro, which kind of ruined it for me, to be honest. The thing is, I don't want to say too much. Like, I don't want to praise this album too high, and don't want to be like in January, in like the first 2 weeks of January already I think this might be the album of the year. But the thing is, if this album came out last year, it would have been in my top 5 for the year, no doubt. I don't want to give this album a 10, because I don't want to rush 10s. I don't think this album is a 10, to be honest. I also don't think I will like all of the tunes. Like I think there will be some parts of some songs that I won't like in a bit, or not won't like, but won't care for as much as I do now, because I think at some point maybe the appeal will wear off for some parts. But if this album keeps this momentum, this could be a 10. But right now I'm giving it a 9. I think this album is a 9 out of 10. I gave Igor a 9 out of 10. I gave Grey Area 9 out of 10. I think this deserves a 9 out of 10 as well. Anyways, thanks for sticking by. Thanks for taking your time actually to listen to the album, because that is, at the end, the point of my reviews is that other people enjoy great music. Yeah, so this was the stream. Thanks for sticking by, and peace. Bye. See you.